That's what it's about. In closing, we remember that this is, was, and always will be Aboriginal land. Thanks, everyone. Have a really great evening.
Thanks, Auntie Donna. Thank you so much, Auntie Donna. Now, we're very fortunate tonight to have our official welcome provided by the Deputy Chancellor of the University, Richard Freudenstein. We had the great fortune of meeting a couple of months ago and discussing the vital role that INCUBATE plays within the university community, and he's been a great advocate for our program ever since. So please welcome our Deputy Chancellor to the stage.
Thanks, Ash. Good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I think this is a great program. I'm really happy to be able to see what's about to happen on stage. Let me first join Auntie Donna in acknowledging and paying my respects to the traditional owners, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and their elders past, present and emerging. I must also begin by acknowledging that this is James's last demo day as Program Manager. And on behalf of the Chancellor and on behalf of the University, I really want to acknowledge the great work that James has done since the very beginning, and to really thank him for what this has become and what it will go on to become. So INCUBATE's been an outstanding success and a tribute to James's energy, his enthusiasm and his dedication. I don't know where he is exactly, but we really do want to thank him for what he's done. And, of course, he's got an ongoing role as a mentor, so I'm sure we'll see him back here at many demo days, and we also look forward to following his career in innovation, and I'm sure he's going to be helping lots and lots of startups around the country going forward. And so good luck to James. It's also my very pleasant task to welcome INCUBATE's new program manager, Rabab Nasrallah, and to thank all the wonderful INCUBATE community of mentors and industry partners. Without you, this program could not be as successful as it is, and we're really immensely grateful for all the time and wisdom that you contribute to the program. It's been a particularly big 12 months for INCUBATE with 2 major awards. The program has been named StartCon 2018 Startup Accelerator of the Year and Campus Link Most Successful Student Outcomes Program. And these represent very well-deserved recognition from both the startup community and from the tertiary education sector, so congratulations on that. And I think the INCUBATE numbers really do speak for themselves as evidence of the program's success. 115 startups accelerated, more than 400 jobs created, and over $67 million in value created so far, which is outstanding. And behind these numbers are the stories of expertise, enthusiasm and imagination, big ideas grounded in the deep and broad disciplinary expertise the University of Sydney provides its students. Take, for instance, 2 startups from Class 12 who are poised to make a significant difference to agricultural practices in Australia. BioScout, an airborne disease tracking solution developed by a team of engineers and scientists to help prevent crop disease, was accepted into the Start Made Seed Accelerator after being in INCUBATE. And they've already signed up new customers, including Australia's 2nd largest banana farmer. In the same class were James Underwood and Steve Shedling, robotics engineers who established Green Atlas, using technology to help farmers grow more produce. The team's first product, the cartographer, was launched commercially in March, and farms are now using it to count and map flowers and fruit quickly and accurately over entire orchards. Using a combination of satellite imagery and a sophisticated specialised camera mounted on a quad bike, the cartographer can count the fruit on 6,000 trees in the time it takes a person to count just one tree, allowing crop management to be tailored to every tree. Both of those startups were sitting where you were just this time last year. Who knows where you might be by October 2020? Which of the 8 teams we're going to hear from tonight will go on to change the world? How long before they become part of our everyday lives? In our gyms or our kitchens, or improving our health and well-being, or helping us to work more effectively. It really is very exciting. At the University of Sydney, we are fortunate to have some of the brightest and most creative people immersed in an environment that gives them room to think and grow and to meet like-minded colleagues. In partnership with the University of Sydney Union, and we really appreciate what the University of Sydney Union does, in partnership with the USU and Incubate, and through our ongoing commitment to providing students with opportunities for entrepreneurial education, we give them the support they need to spread their wings even further. And we are very impressed with what you've achieved so far. And personally, I am really excited by the Incubate program and really stress the vital role of innovation in the future of this nation. Despite the fact I'm wearing a suit and tie this evening, I do have a little bit of experience of the sort of adrenaline rush, the ups and downs, the challenges of being involved in a startup. It was a long time ago, but I was one of the first 5 employees of Foxtel. And we managed to take that business from literally 5 people sitting around a table and turning it into Australia's biggest media company, which was a great buzz. I'm also chairing a little digital startup in the e-commerce space, so I understand the challenges of raising money and trying to spread yourself too thin on a range of issues. And I was chair for 5 years, and I'm still on the board of REA Group, which was a digital startup in the real estate space. What started as an idea in a garage in Richmond in Melbourne is now an ASX top 50 company with a market valuation of over $14 billion. So, echoing Auntie Donna's words, who knows who's going to be next in this room to achieve that? Good luck. So I do care very deeply about innovation and what the University of Sydney and what the Incubate teams are doing. I look forward very much to hearing more tonight from each of the startups, and I wish you all the best in this very exciting stage of the innovation journey. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Richard. I think a shining example of doing what Auntie Donna says and going out and making lots of money out of your startup. So well done. Thank you very much. Now, some of you may be aware that over the weekend a record was broken, not an Incubate record, but one about a marathon that was won in under 2 hours. I see a couple of nods here. I was reading an article a couple of days ago that was saying that this race wasn't actually won alone, but actually this athlete was supported by a myriad of people. He had 40 pace runners who ran in different roles ahead of him to keep him running faster. He had cyclists bringing water to him so he didn't have to stop. Nike, of course, made him a bespoke running shoe that improved his performance by 4%. And he also had a car going ahead of him with a laser on the road that pointed to the most ideal areas in the road to run to maximise his performance. And this made me really appreciate that no feat is achieved without the support of a good community and a good team, and that's definitely what Incubate set out to do in our vision. But further to this, he made a comment that it wasn't just about breaking the 2-hour mark, but it was about setting a new mindset for people to understand what the human body is capable of. And when we think about the founders who come to Incubate, whether they're students, staff, alumni, researchers, these are people who have decided to embark on something that is yet to be done. And in many cases, they prove that it can be done. And that's who we're celebrating here tonight. And in many cases, all of us work in some way for something that started somewhere. Whether we work for a big company now, it all started with a thought, just like, what if we put a university on top of the hill in Sydney, over 100 years ago? What if we take a new product to market? What if we serve these special communities? So this is a community of the what if people that we're celebrating tonight. And so I'd like to invite out our co-founder of the program who asked what if 7 years ago, and he will be presenting you to C14 this evening. Can you please welcome James Alexander?
Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Ash. Hello, everyone. How are you all feeling? Good? Well, it's a full house tonight. It's fantastic to be here, and I'm so happy to be hosting Class 14. I'm really excited to show you our amazing startups, and I know they're super excited side of stage to come on and pitch. If you are on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok for that matter, please do tag us at Sydney Incubate, hashtag Sydney Incubate. We have our whole team waiting to retweet you and get you way more followers. So there's that. This is Class 14. They're a fantastic group. They're a diverse group. They're from all different backgrounds. And I'm not going to say much more than to introduce the very first startup. So please welcome Michael from Moro. Round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael, and I am the founder of Moro. I'm going to tell you about an industry that's largely unheard of. It's an industry that I used to work in very closely for many years, but I did leave it because it is crying for innovation, and that's where my journey started. My day-to-day job involved the cleanup and the management of contaminated lands all around Australia. This was a very messy job, but I did get to wear fun outfits like this. I promise you there's nothing fun about asbestos. It's a serious problem. A big part of my job was collecting hundreds of contaminated samples that were collected, placed into jars, and painstakingly labelled for laboratories to analyse. But what was worse was the amount of paperwork that we had to write out. The problem was that there is actually no standardised format for this type of documentation, and we had to write it all by hand. The laboratories had it the toughest. They had to read our poor handwriting, and they had to manually upload all our sample information directly into the database. This could take days and create delays. We visited one particular lab in Australia who hired 20 dedicated staff just to solve this problem. And we have calculated that the average lab spends $600,000 per year just on paper management staffing. It is crazy. We think there is a much better solution, and we've created that solution today. At Moro, instead of using paper to track all your sample information, all that sample information is stored and sent into the cloud into our platform. A field scientist on site creates a new laboratory request using our mobile app. That then gets sent directly to a lab where they receive a notification, and the lab technician uploads all that information directly into the database. This is a game changer. Why? Because they no longer need to rely on paper. They can start processing samples before they're delivered to the lab, and they no longer need to hire dedicated staff just on paper management. Our pricing model is very simple. We provide metered pricing options for labs of any size. We charge $2.50 per sample that goes through our system, and we've calculated that the average medium-sized lab would spend $12,500 per month using our platform. This is a fraction of the cost that they currently spend every single month on paper management and staffing costs. We have an A team of leadership. We have worked within the environmental and the lab sector. We have worked with some of the most innovative Australian unicorns and American companies, and we have years of experience within the government sector working in compliance. We've had an incredible journey so far. We've been engaged by one of the world's largest laboratories who have 800 labs globally to use our platform and be our first enterprise customer. We cannot be more excited. Thank you. But our journey does not stop there. Our vision is to become the industry standard for all labs across the board. This is where you guys come in. We are looking to make new connections. So if anyone in the audience knows anyone within the pathological field, or even from the environmental field, or any sort of lab that analyzes samples, please come talk to us after the presentation. We really want to have a chat to you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have an excellent evening. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. I really love it when a founder comes on stage with a problem that they've felt themselves through their work and then wants to solve it. It's always a very lovely personal connection. And it's been really exciting to get Moro in. In fact, when they got their first email from that enterprise customer, they were ecstatic. On to the next startup. Please welcome Hunter from Robotics.
Hey, I'm Hunter J. I'm a co-founder of Robotics, and we make fruit-picking robots. 800 billion apples are picked every single year, and almost all of these are picked by hand. That is, you have someone climb a ladder and manually remove every single one of 800 billion apples. It's really slow, and it's hard work too, which makes it expensive. It's the largest on-orchard cost for farmers in Australia today. And that's not even including the cost of finding and training and managing the workforce when it's there. So why are we still using people? Why hasn't this been automated? Well, 5 years ago, the machine vision, it wasn't good enough. You have to be able to find the apples on the tree and tell if they're ripe, tell if they're ready to be picked. Also, the orchards themselves weren't really ready. Machines work best with thin trees and wide rows, which has only become standard over the last 10 years. And the robots were expensive. Like, the prices come down dramatically. We're looking at previous attempts at this, and they use these massive big machines that are really expensive to develop and expensive to move about to different farms with lots of specialized parts. So we know if we were going to try and do this, we needed to make something that was simple and fast, but also cheap. So here it is. This is Buzz. This is Australia's first apple-picking robot. He picks apples just like a person does. He's better at picking apples than I am, which is a huge relief. He finds the apples on the tree, tells if they're ripe, and harvests them at about the same speed as a human. And he was really cheap. This cost less than $10,000 to develop, including everything, the hardware, the software, the tests and designs. It's off-the-shelf parts combined with custom software into a unique solution for this. So adoption in the past has been difficult for new technologies coming into agriculture because you have the upfront cost of the machine, but also people don't really like changing what their process is. If you have a new technology come in and you have to change what you're doing to adapt to it, it's very difficult to get adoption. So we thought, let's not do that. Let's just replace human labor directly. So from the farmer's perspective, all it means is instead of paying a human $200 a day to pick the fruit, they pay us, they pay Buzz. And at the discounted rate, it makes it very, very easy. It's actually easier because you don't have to go and find and train and manage the labor. So we expect each machine to earn about $16,000 per year. But in the longer term, we think we can get that up to $50,000 per machine per year, which we can do by doing other tasks, like picking other types of fruit and doing other, like pruning and spraying and thinning. All you need to do is change the gripper and update the software, and you have something that can pick oranges or mangoes or avocados. So what have we done so far? We've got the prototype. It's done. It works. It picks apples, which is really good. And now we're working on the commercial version of that. So this is the lab test version. We've got in a little lab to make sure the designs and software is running the way we expect it to. So now we're building the one we're going to take out to the actual orchards. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. It's designed to work outside and last for a few years. And to that point, this is Greg. He's our first trial partner. He's agreed to let us come onto his orchard at the start of the next season in February. And we'll be spending the first month there making sure that it works in the real world when the apples are actually getting pulled off the trees, the same way it does in the lab, because we can't test that until there are actually apples on the tree. So after that, we'll be taking it around for a demo tour to a bunch of different growers, about 30 of the largest ones in Australia. We're meeting with those guys next week to organize this tour, which has been organized by the Department of Primary Industry, this first meeting. So this is all done by myself, Hunter J, and my co-founder, Leopold Lucas. I'm a software engineer by training and have built and designed this machine in-house. Leo's background is in law and strategy and sales, so he's been really key in sorting out our relationship with the Department of Primary Industry, as well as other industry bodies, and sorting us out with the early adopter farmers who we're targeting at the moment. So right now, we're looking for about $50,000, which will allow us to finish commercializing the prototype we've got. So that'll pay for the hardware upgrades for the commercial version, as well as for the expenses of taking around to the different farmers. And we expect those demos on these different farms to lead to pre-orders, which would help us lead into a seed round next year for manufacturing more of these machines. So thank you. I'm Hunter J. This is Right Robotics, and we're picking the future. Hey.
Thanks very much, Hunter. That was fantastic. Hunter and Ripe are actually our third ag tech company in the last 12 months. So we definitely are seeing more of them, and it's super exciting because in Australia there's a huge opportunity. On to our third startup. Please welcome Tyson from Active Stats.
Good evening. My name's Tyson, and I like counting things. While my phone is great at tracking my steps when running, I've always found it difficult to track my workout in the gym. Tonight, I'm going to tell you what Active Stats is doing to fix this, and why we also have some major Australian sports teams interested in our technology. We have spent the last couple of months speaking to sports teams and strength coaches, and we have found that teams want more objective data in the gym. Australia has been a leader in the development of GPS technology for the purpose of tracking athletes' output on the field. There is still no equivalent technology for tracking athletes' output in the gym, despite the fact that in many sports, athletes spend 30 to 50% of their training time in the gym. Coaches need this data to better manage injury, to prevent injury, and to optimize player development. The cost of a single injured player in the Australian NRL is over $10,000 per game. Go to US sports and you can multiply this number by 20. Active Stats software runs on any camera-enabled device. We're using the very latest computer vision technology, some of which has only been made possible this year. Our computer vision models recognize and count every repetition. The algorithm detects a change in exercise. The bars on the app represent the velocity of the lift. This is an application of AI vision. In time, we will provide form feedback regarding the user's angles of their joints, asymmetries of the body, and depth of the movement. Being a fanatical rugby league fan, I'm very happy to tell you that we will be building this technology for the New South Wales Blues at their brand new Centre of Excellence. We will be installing tablet devices on every one of these squat racks. As the player walks up to the rack, they will log into our software seamlessly via facial recognition. As they do their workout, they will receive real-time feedback from the display in front of them. The coaches will receive a live feed of this data and be able to choose which players to intervene with. This is a great opportunity for us because it's a chance to showcase our technology to a wide array of clubs who use this facility when playing one-off games at Sydney Olympic Park. As mentioned, I like counting things. I began my career in finance before moving into data analytics. I'm a sports enthusiast and have consulted NRL teams on their use of data. Bastian's my co-founder. He loves building things. This is Bastian's second AI and machine learning startup, the other of which has sold products to major Australian companies. After establishing our AI vision technology in elite sport, we will then look at other applications, most notably that at-home workout market, retail gyms, and physiotherapy. The sports analytics market has been growing at over 50% per year, as has the wearables tracking market. So we want to lead the way in a new market, and that's the market for passive tracking technology. Our business model is a setup plus subscription fee. The setup fee will cover the cost of installation of devices, and the ongoing subscription will cover the cost of the use of our software, which converts any gym into a smart gym. We'll be raising $160,000. This will fund us to build this technology with major Australian sports institutions before developing a product that we can take around the world. We are Active Stats. If you're an active investor and interested in this opportunity, please come and find us. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyson. That was great. I've been trying to get Tyson to put this tech into my local gym, but I think they've got a better first customer, to be honest. Okay, on to our fourth startup. Please welcome Chris from 300 Selective.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris, and together with my co-founder, Arian, we are 300 Selective, an online adaptive learning platform catering for students preparing for the selective school exams. Now, here's a picture of a classroom 100 years ago. Here's a picture of the modern day classroom. Now, aside from the color scheme, does anyone notice a real difference? Me neither. Sadly, the truth is, despite being in a world of rapidly expanding technology and innovation, the way we teach and the way we learn has stayed more or less the same. Now, growing up as high-achieving students ourselves, we quickly developed a love for teaching. And the thing about teaching is that you quickly realize that just because you teach something really well to a student and they understand it really well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will get the best grades. On the other hand, some students may not study nearly as much, but somehow always come out on top. This is because in every test, every exam, every quiz, there are subtle nuances which you need to learn and know about, such as the way the questions are being phrased and the exact answers the markers will be looking for. In fact, looking back at my high school days, I remember when exam preparation would be less about actually learning. It would be more of an exercise of trying to memorize as many model answers as I could for every type of question I would encounter. Sometimes writing an answer down on the exam paper without even understanding the concept I'm talking about, but I would still get better marks. So the thing we learned is that in order to actually show your progress through exam scores, you need two things. The first is to learn and understand the content you're being tested on, which seems simple enough. But then there's the aspect of exam preparation that teachers and students really struggle with. This is because there is no real way to do this other than printing out tens of past papers and exposing yourself to countless of practice questions just to learn how exactly you'd be tested. And this is where we come in. Introducing 300 Selective, an online adaptive learning platform that takes the exam preparation aspect out of the classroom into an online platform that optimizes the way students learn and prepare for exams. How do we do this? As students progress through our materials, the program will learn and collect data about the student. It will then automatically adjust the content the student sees next according to their needs, their strengths, and their weaknesses. It could be anything from a one-on-one lesson with a tutor, a video explanation, easier questions, harder questions, the list goes on. The point is, everyone has different learning needs, and we provide that educational journey that is tailored to each individual. Our business model is quite simple. For an average transaction value of $100 a month, students can come on and start working through our materials and can cancel at any time if they are unsatisfied with the way we are teaching. So far, no one has. Being online has its many benefits and advantages as well, such as being accessible not just in the classroom, but literally anywhere where there's Wi-Fi and a laptop. We can also deliver instant results and feedback at the click of a button. And perhaps most importantly, we can deliver a personalized learning program in a scalable way. In the past 6 months, we've launched our MVP in the selective school exam preparation industry and have reached 500 active users. But we don't want to stop there. We want to use our way of learning and teaching for every student preparing for every exam. And in the next 6 months, we want to expand to New South Wales and Australia, exam preparation industries there, such as the OC, the selective school, the NAPLAN test, and various university entrance tests, to reach our milestone of 3,000 students in the next 6 months, eventually becoming the leader in exam preparation by using adaptive technology. So how can you help? If you're a parent or a student, we would love to hear about how we can best help you achieve your specific individual learning needs. If you're an educator, if you're a lecturer, a tutor, a school, a teacher, please come talk to us, and we would love to partner with you about how you can deliver the best quality education to your students. And to everyone else, we would love to talk to you as well. Tell us about what you like, what you don't like, any thoughts you had, how you could help us, and how we could possibly help you. We are 300 Selective, revolutionizing exam preparation. Thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Chris. Although I wish you guys had existed when I was in primary and high school. On to our next startup. Please welcome Clark from Mag Optics. Clark.
Hello, I'm Clark. I'm the founder of Metal and Glass. We specialize in ergonomic dental optics. Stephanie and I met during dental school here at University of Sydney. And we started this company to solve a problem that no other company was willing to solve for us. There are 1.6 million dentists around the world taking care of people's teeth. But did you know that 90% of them experience some kind of neck and back pain due to bad posture? That's almost 1.4 million dentists. Teeth are small, and it's hard to work in the mouth. That's why dentists will often use something called dental loops. If you look closely, this dentist is using such a device, and it gives you a magnified vision of the teeth that you're working on. However, you don't have to look closely to see that it doesn't solve the posture problem. I can imagine that this dentist will have a neck pain at the end of the eight-hour work day. There are many different kinds of dental loops out in the market right now. They range in price from $500 to $4,400, but the basic design is all the same. It's a long barrel of pipe that you look through and gives you a magnified vision. This is a photo of me trying out one of the major brands in second year of my dental school. And if you look really closely and you look at the actual frames, the arms of the dental loops are forced up in order for me to sit at the spot that I want to sit at. But obviously, I can't sit like that. And even if I were to, I would get eye strain at the end of the day. So wouldn't it be great if dental loops did some of that neck bending for you? Introducing Curve Optics, world's first dental loops to offer declination angle between 45 to 90 degrees. It is an industry-leading lightweight design at 55 grams. The prismatic system allows for very wide field of view, which gives you a full mouth view even at 4.5 times the magnification. Curve Optics is currently for sale on our website for $2,900 per unit. We offer 3 different kinds of magnification, which covers different areas of dentistry, including general dentistry to specialized procedures such as endodontics. So far, we have done more than 70 demos around Sydney. We have sold to 3 different countries, including Australia, United States, and New Zealand. And we have had $21,000 in revenue. If you don't like your dentist, forget everything I just said right now. But if you do like your dentist, please do refer them on to us, because it is very likely that they have the exact same problem that I have described to you here today. I'd just like to thank Stephanie and James and everybody at INCUBATE for helping me out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to come talk to me at my booth. Thank you.
Thanks, Clark. What Clark didn't say in that is in fact that they've sold all that without spending a single dime on marketing. Most of that's been word of mouth referral. And I tested this with my dentist recently, and he's like, yeah, I have neck and back pain. I'm like, well, you should email this person. On to our next startup. Please welcome Ehsan from Upskill EQ.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Ehsan Sakai, co-founder of Upskill EQ. Upskill EQ is a platform for empowering personal and leadership development. As the director of the undergraduate leadership program here at the University of Sydney and instructor at UCLA, I'm passionate about the development of my students' personal, interpersonal, and leadership skills, often referred to as soft skills. Now, soft skills include self-awareness, effective communication, and emotional intelligence. Research shows that what makes individuals and teams highly effective are not technical skills, but soft skills. Increasingly, employers are also emphasizing on the importance of soft skills in recruitment as it drives organizational performance. Now, I'll take this class where my students have just gone through a 12-week project work in teams. Now, it's easy for me to assess their technical skills through tests and assignments. However, when it comes to their leadership skills and personal skills, soft skills, that's another story. Here's the problem. Educators can't measure and track soft skill development. Students can't get feedback on how they're developing, and universities are unable to gain a deeper insight into the impact and effectiveness of their programs through an evidence-based approach. Over the past several years, I've been devoted to address this issue. And I'm not alone. Many of my colleagues across business, education, engineering, psychology are experiencing the same. So I decided to build a platform to address this issue. Enter Upskill EQ. A platform that empowers personal and leadership development by allowing educators to build experiential activities that measure and track soft skill development. It allows students to get real-time feedback on how they're developing. And it allows universities to now be able to measure the impact and effectiveness of their programs. A powerful feature of the platform is the Upskill EQ marketplace, a place where experts and educators can publish and share their creations. This searchable marketplace already contains pre-built activities spanning positive psychology, well-being, motivation, and leadership. All these being designed by experts in the field and now available for use. Now, we envision that this marketplace will become a powerful monetization platform for skilled creators. Tonight, I'm excited to announce that we have just reached 5,000 users across 5 universities in 5 continents using our tool. And we have had very positive feedback from both educators and students. We have a dedicated and motivated team. Joining me is Phil Henville, a digital specialist and data scientist with over 20 years experience across multiple sectors. Jason Teo, who has extensive experience across corporate leadership, learning, and organizational development. But we're just getting started. We're also talking to leading MBA programs, high schools, and other market segments. To fund our journey, we're raising $500,000 to further develop our product, expand and support our team, and marketing to reach 100,000 users in the next 18 months. We have the vision to transform individuals, teams, and organizations by democratizing and empowering personal and leadership development. Join us. Thank you for listening.
Great work, Hassan. Thanks very much. One of the coolest things helping founders and startups is you actually get to use some of their products. I teach a class here, and I've used Ehsan's tool in the beginning of my class to help them form groups with one of their activities, and it's been fantastic. The groups have been amazing, so I can very much plug it from an educator perspective. So if you're interested, definitely go up and say hi to Ehsan. Okay, are we ready for the next startup? Yeah? Okay. Please welcome Dat from Kitschko.
Hi, I'm Dat from Kitschko, and I'm the CEO and co-founder. Today, I'm going to tell you why the top home chefs are using Kitschko today. This is my mother. She makes the best Vietnamese crab-based noodle soup anyone has to offer. And trust me, I'm not being biased on that one. Unfortunately, she's not here with us today, as she rests above. So on most nights, you could probably guess that I wanted food that reminded me of this. Food that reminded me of home. So about a year ago, I began my search online to find food that resembles what my mother made. And what did I find? Boy, the results were astonishing. It was literally ad after ad after ad. Today, we found over 63,000 listings on homemade food on Facebook and Gumtree in Sydney alone. This amounts to 1,400 listings per week. When meeting these cooks, it turns out that there were amazing chefs selling diverse cuisines that you couldn't get from your normal restaurants, and they had existing customers who they already sold to. This is Misha. She's one of our home chefs at Kitschko. She makes about $3,000 per week selling authentic Bornean Malaysian dishes. In fact, we estimate that based on the average number of home food businesses registered per council, there is currently $500 million market in Australia right now. We've discovered that the top frustrations that these home chefs had was that they had to post daily on social media to keep up with competition. They had to use multiple apps when managing their customers, and when dealing with cash and bank transfer, we all know how hard it is to manage. So to solve these problems, we created Kitschko, an online marketplace platform which connects hungry Australians with local and diverse home chefs. Chefs who are passionate about sharing their cultural identity through food can now sell on a singular platform without worrying about the messy headaches, while customers can enjoy cuisines that replicate a homely and global experience in your neighborhood. So if you're looking for homemade authentic food, all you have to do is just jump onto our website, start looking, see what's cooking, and start booking. It's that simple. Yeah. For home chefs, if you're food safety certified and have your home food business registered with your local council, we'll give you a beautiful profile where you can easily manage and communicate with your customers. This is an average order size here at Kitschko. It's about $50. It's enough to feed you, your friends, or your family. We take a 25% commission on each transaction, where each customer must make a minimum order of $30. We did a private launch 6 weeks ago in a small suburb in Western Sydney to receive feedback. We managed to sell 22 dishes covered by 3 home chefs. Today, we've onboarded 14 new home chefs, and we have 80 that are pre-registered. We are looking to get all the home chefs to swap over to our platform. Behind the doors at Kitschko, we're a young and hungry team. To ensure you have a good time at the dinner table, we are all food safety certified. I myself have a background in food security, agricultural economics, and logistics. Our other 2 co-founders, Jennifer, she's a marketplace expert and is closely connected with ethnic trading groups. Richie, he's got years of experience in operations management and finance. So we're starting here with home chefs, but we're always looking for more ways to make food more accessible to anyone, anywhere, and anytime, providing more ways to feed hungry Australians. Obviously, that can't be done without your help, so come to our booth, come talk to us. I promise you, we won't bite. This is a great opportunity for you to meet some of our lovely chefs who took their time to be here today to talk to you. If you want to see where we're cooking up a storm next, sign up now. We'll give you a free macaroon freshly made by one of our home chefs. But you've got to be quick. They're going to go very fast. So before I leave you here today, let me take you back to where it all started. Taste food that reminds you of home. What have I told you that someone down the road could be cooking for you? Or perhaps someone next door? How's that for a change? Enjoy and experience the world's cuisines locally. Come eat with Kitschko. Hi, my name is Dat. Thank you for your time. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Dat. That was fantastic. I can attest the macaroons look delicious, although they wouldn't let me have one on the way over here, so I'm going to race over there and grab one. We're on to our last startup. Well, our second last startup, I should say. So please welcome, last but not least, Nick from Interval Weight Loss. Nick.
Firstly, I would like to take the opportunity to actually thank Ashley and James and the Incubate team for what has been truly a wonderful experience. Good evening, everyone. We all know we have an obesity epidemic, but until now, we have never had a solution. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about tonight, the Interval Weight Loss online program. Whether it's you or someone you're close to, everyone knows someone that has struggled with their weight. Someone stuck in the merry-go-round of dieting, trying all sorts of products that promise that magic cure. From pills, shakes, specially formulated foods, and a new diet every day of the week. A $60 billion industry that thrives on our failure. In fact, someone struggling with their weight will try up to 5 diets every year, and they will have been on more than 60 diets by the age of 45. We all know people can lose weight, but every time they put it back on, and that is because our body fights weight loss. Our hunger hormones go up telling us to eat more, and our metabolism decreases to ensure we regain the weight we lost. And the best example of this comes from large data sets of twins. A twin that is dieted will always end up heavier than the one that didn't. My name is Dr. Nick Fuller, and I'm a leading obesity expert from Charles Perkins Centre at the University of Sydney. I'm also the founder of the Interval Weight Loss Program, the only scientifically proven program to prevent weight regain. Through my research, we've discovered a way to stop the body fighting itself so you can lose weight and, importantly, keep it off. With diets, this is the result. But with the Interval Weight Loss Program, when you get a person to lose approximately 2 kilograms every second month, their body recalibrates at intervals along the way. So you don't get the increase in hunger hormones and the decrease in metabolism that comes with diets. I've been translating my research in top-tier medical and science journals for the past 12 years. And I've translated the interval weight loss program into 2 best-selling books with the largest publisher in the world, Penguin Books. More than 30,000 copies of this method have already been sold. As a recognised expert in my field, I'm invited to present my work throughout the globe, and I'm also a familiar face here in the media, which allows me to provide health education to the population through my regular column in the Daily Telegraph, and as the resident obesity expert on the Channel 9 morning show and the 2GB breakfast radio show. This has allowed me to build a very engaged community of more than 3,000 members that want to follow the interval weight loss program in the palm of their hand. The online program allows people to track their progress. It provides weekly feedback, providing the accountability that they need to succeed on their goals. It also delivers interactive videos, recipes, and has a very supportive community group. In fact, the pre-launch of the online program was so successful that I've had to cap it at 100 paying users with a subscription model of $20 a month. I have another 500 on my wait list, and this is all before releasing to the general public. The program will be made publicly available at the end of this year, and we will have 1 million users by 2021. As part of the finale, we have a special offer on. We've opened up the program to more people. For everyone that signs up tonight, I'm going to give you a free signed copy of my book. So come by the stand, say hello, and I look forward to talking later. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick. That was fantastic. Nick is definitely a fantastic person to chat about this space. You know, I'm myself quite passionate about food and nutrition, and it's really interesting to see where we're heading and the next generation and the next approach in this space. So if you're interested in that topic, go chat to Nick afterwards while he's here. Okay, not on the program, but lucky last, we've got someone, a founder and alumnus, who actually came through Incubate in Class 9. He's fresh off the plane from San Francisco after having a fun time in Y Combinator in Silicon Valley. Just closed his 3rd round of financing, I believe, which is unannounced yet. But if you go find him later, you can try and get him to tell you how many millions it was. Please welcome Roman from Earth AI.
Hi everyone, my name is Roman. I'm founder of Earth AI. We are a full-stack AI-powered mining exploration company. Thanks so much for inviting me to share a bit of my story, our story. So I'm a geologist. I'm originally from Ukraine. When you're a geologist, you get to go to really beautiful places like this mine in like Arctic remote areas. And you get to see beautiful nature, and you get to learn a lot. Like, you can see the 2 rivers are flowing together, one coming from like beautiful granitic mountains, like where a great show fed, and the other ones is from pretty ugly, you know, small hills that are a lot of mud. You also learn a lot of like life lessons, like if there are bears in the area, you shouldn't park your vehicles outside because they can chew the tires, and you really like want to ride the tank in that case. That's where I got this first feeling of how is it to make a discovery, how to like find, you know, real gold. But I had a small problem, you know, I don't really like, you know, to follow, you know, traditional process for way too long. I always want to improve, and you know, in the industry, you always follow industry standards. So I wanted to do something more. I wanted to invent something. So I wanted to go and decided it's a good idea to go and do a PhD. And I found a beautiful project right here in the University of Sydney, down the road in Madison, in geochemistry. And that's how I came here to Australia in the beginning of 2015. And my life in here in science turned from exciting nature to more of this. Data analysis, each rock is analyzed for 60 elements, and you get, hundreds of data points to look through. And, you read papers, try to analyze them, and it's like, they look just beautiful, perfect signatures, and how you have to, identify them using these perfect signature examples. But here's how my data looked like. And it's like, am I the only one that got those imperfect examples? So I went and, I thought, I'd read a lot of papers, and it's just like make my head full. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere further. What if I, look what real data is behind those papers? Because papers usually have all these, perfect 20 rocks. It's like, oh, this is the perfect example to illustrate my idea. I looked at real data, and what I found is that, hey, each of those conflicting theories, they had similar data sets, similar data signatures in all of them. I'm like, what's more likely to be wrong? Is it the data or the theories? And I thought probably the data. So I told to my supervisors, like, hey, obviously we need to go and grab the global data set and reclassify it all, redo the rock classification, and start from scratch. Obviously there's a lot of wrong things with the way we classify rocks right now. And he's like, no, Roman, you can't just go and take a data-driven approach and go against the established status quo, against what everybody else does. And I thought, maybe I can. Maybe I can start a startup and apply to Incubate and go and do what I really think it's important to do for the industry. And here's me 2.5 years ago, the same stage, pitching Earth AI when we were very, very young. At that time, we had one paying customer, 15 trials, and 2 people team. And it was good enough for us. We could raise, our first round was Blackbird and Airtree, and just after the demo day. And this is my first team. We're buying laptops, and we started really working in sort of, solving this big data problem in geology. So I'll tell you more about what we actually do. So as I said, we're Earth AI. We are a vertically integrated mineral exploration company. So we do 3 things. We use AI to predict the locations of rare metals, and we go to the sites and confirm that the metals are there, and then we mine the ore and sell it. This is our first drill site in Northern Territory. Our AI has predicted deposits of lead and vanadium to be found here, and we started drilling in July, collecting and analyzing the core samples, which turned out to be full of lead and vanadium, and we have found the world's first AI-predicted mineral deposit. And deposits of lead in sedimentary rocks like ours tend to be huge, containing metal worth more than $2 billion. And with typical mining margins of 50%, we can make $1 billion on this site alone. But this is just the first one. We have discovered 17 more like this and secured exclusive mineral rights, meaning we have an option to unlock $18 billion of value. And how we get there? Well, first, we collected a proprietary 600 terabyte data set of remote sensing, geophysical, and geochemical data. And then we spent a year to train our AI to achieve 90% precision. And then we scanned the entire continent of Australia, predicting thousands of brand new sites. Then my team drove to 132 of those sites and discovered 35 brand new prospects, achieving a 26% success rate. Doesn't sound much, but it's 50 times bigger and better than the industry standard of just 0.5%. So we are 50 times better than humans at finding mineral deposits. I have 8 years of mining industry experience, and we have a 15-strong team of AI engineers, drawers, and geoscientists. We're Earth AI. We use AI to find ore and mine it out of the ground. We made history with the world's first AI-discovered mineral deposit, and we have rights to $18 billion of ore. Lastly, I just want to say I'm so thankful to Incubate for all they've done for us. James and the team were, amazing throughout the time, and if not them, we wouldn't have survived. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman. Now, as we've heard, this is James Alexander's last cohort as Program Manager for Incubate, and I'd like to invite USU CEO Al Cowie to the stage to say a few words for James. Watch James.
Thank you, Ash. James, come out and sit with me here. I'm improvising. I saw these chairs and I thought, I'm far too old to stand up.
Should I sit on it?
Sure, sit on there. I feel like Oprah.
This is not scripted.
Totally not scripted. I very well remember the day in 2012 when James and another student, two young students, 19-year-olds, came into my office and said, "Hey, Al, we've got a great idea." Now, I know from years of experience that when students come into my office and say, "Hey, Al, we've got a great idea," it's going to be either a really, really good day or a really, really bad day. Now, I knew Mina Nada, who was James's co-founder, because he was on the board and I'd worked with him. And I sort of knew James because he was one of these kids around campus that everybody knew. He was tall, he was good looking, he was charming. He was one of those people that everybody had a little bit of an idea about. And they started talking to me about an incubator accelerator. Now, to my mind, an incubator was that thing at the Easter show. It was a glass box with chicken eggs in it and a lamp, and you could stand there and watch the eggs hatch. And I thought an accelerator incubator is just the same thing, but it does it faster. And I thought, why on earth do they think the union would be interested in entering into the agricultural business? However, I practiced the very great skill of saying absolutely nothing and let the two natter on for a while. And in the back of my mind, I remembered some idea about incubators that I'd read somewhere in the New York Times or the Sydney Morning Herald. And it started to make sense. And even with my limited understanding, I realized that what they were talking about was something good and that this was going to be a very good day. Now, the union's constitution talks about fostering the social, cultural, and intellectual well-being of all our members. And we would have admitted in 2012 that we were very good at that from the arts kind of point of view. We were great at funding the Dramatic Society and the reviews and the bands and all the fun stuff on campus. But we were not very good at reaching out to the students who were studying science or engineering or computer science or design. It was an area that we were lacking in, and having sat with James and Mina for about an hour and a half, I realized that this was a terrific opportunity to reach out to those students and to do something for them. So we ideated a little bit, as you do. Yeah. We sussed out the ecosystem, as we say.
Yes, we did.
And
in fact, I would interject and say my fondest memory is we were going through a spreadsheet of costs, and on the top of the spreadsheet, Al wrote entrepreneurs. I was like, that sums it up really well.
James, that was our little secret. You've just totally alienated me from half the audience. But we took this idea to the department heads and then to the board, and it was enthusiastically received, and so Incubate was born. And right from the get-go, it's been a great star in our firmament. And we really have to thank James for being the creative spark behind that star. And even on the launch night, I remember it happened over there in the law school, in the fishbowl at the law school, the foyer. It was the sexiest spot on campus in those days. Now I have to say that the sexiest spot on campus is the new Incubate area on level 4 of the Wentworth building. But in those days, that was the sexiest spot on campus. So that's where we chose to launch this thing. And our very first entrepreneur mentor, Matt Barry, I beg your pardon, was so impressed with what we were doing and so impressed with James that he reached into his pocket and pulled out $20,000 on that night, which meant that we could double the first intake from 5 students to 10. So right from the get-go, we were going above and beyond. And ever since then, I have to say, James, that you've been a magnet not just for cash, but also for influence. Proverbs 20 tells us that even a young man is known by his actions. And whilst James, I think, would agree with me that nothing happens in a vacuum and that the evolution of Incubate has been very much a team effort over the years, I'm very confident to sit here and say that James has been the driving force in that. And let's just look at the numbers. We've heard some of them tonight. 115 startups, over 250 individual founders, over 120 wonderful, fabulous mentors who donate of their time and their expertise and their love and their passion, and without whom we wouldn't be here tonight. We're getting on for $100 million worth of developed businesses, long-term funding partnership with the university, and Richard and Duncan, if you're here, those have been such important entrees to so many other vital and existential conversations for the union in areas other than Incubate. So we're very grateful for the opening of many doors that James and his passion have created for us. We forged a community of entrepreneurship and innovation across the university. When we started out, I think there was Incubate, and now within the ecosystem, there's Incubate, there's the new lounge over in the Merriweather building. There are dozens of these things on campus. It's really, really grown. And within the union, we're thinking much more innovatively and entrepreneurially, and I think that's very important for us. We've won dozens of awards, and I think importantly from James's point of view, we've gone from an office of 1 person
That's right.
down in the bottom of the Manning building to a team of about 10 in these brand new, beautiful facilities over in Wentworth. The University of Sydney Union is the oldest student union in the country, and Incubate was the first and I think only startup to be sponsored by a student union. Now that's testament to our forward thinking and our desire to be true to our constitutional aims and to be ahead of the game. But most importantly, it's a representation of it's in our DNA that we listen to students and we let their ideas flourish. That's right. Now, one of the best part of my job, and indeed I think everyone who works at the union, and probably everyone who works at the union, is that we get to work with and mentor and develop and train extraordinary young men and women and young students who come through this place. They develop skills, they grow up, they fly away and go out and make their way in the world. Now, admittedly, James has stayed a bit longer than most,
That's right. But
nevertheless, he's probably, it's true to say, developed more and given more back to his community. I often think that what I do is like being a parent, because we have all these wonderful children. And whilst it's not politically correct to say that you have a favourite child, I think under certain circumstances I could be convinced that James would fall into that special category of being a favourite child, even if he did not come and visit me in the old people's home when I was needing food and sustenance and new teeth.
I'll come visit. I'll come say hello.
Thanks, James. Phoebe, you should be very proud of your son, and I'm very proud of my son. James, I just want to say to you, good luck. Thank you. Go forth and do great things. Please don't ever forget that not only are you a part of our history, you're a part of our family, and we love you very much.
Thanks very much, Al. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
To whom do I give that?
You can give that to me.
Cheers.
Thanks very much, Al, for the kind words. It's a bit of a trip down memory lane. It's absolutely true. Without Al's leadership, this wouldn't have happened, right? And anyone else here that's had success in their domain can definitely attribute to the fact that there always needs to be someone that comes in and helps out. So I know that I'm pretty much the last person to stand between you and the drinks. So, and you can already hear them clinking, right? But I just wanted to take you a quick trip down memory lane and just indulge a little bit while I'm on the stage for the last time. This is our first Incubate space in Manning House around the corner. It was actually a converted meeting room in Manning House. We could only have it for the summer because, you know, students come back. And so we shoved a bunch of entrepreneurs in there, and this was class one. All those people are in startups still. All of them are doing amazing things, if you're wondering, and I can tell you more about that later. We then got our first office. We crammed ourselves into a really makeshift, hacked up sort of presentation space. In fact, I couldn't actually get in because it was so packed. It wasn't really designed to have presentations. So I'm behind some glass, if you're wondering. It kind of looks a bit, you know. Then we kind of grew up a little bit, and we basically overtook this basement, which we kind of rearranged the furniture, stuffed everyone in, and the Incubate basement is what we lovingly called it. And it was really good because the startups could work with no sunlight, so they would just keep on working, right? You just wouldn't know. It's a bit like being in a casino. Like, what time is it now? And then we graduated to this, which is really a testament of what we've done and the partnership with the student union and with the university. And I think one of the sexiest startup spaces on any campus. It's a beautiful space, bespoke design for how we do things. And it's fantastic. If you haven't visited, please come visit in the Wentworth building at some time. We're there all the time. Of course, none of this is possible without our mentors. And I wanted to, the A team. And this was the original A team. This was Joe, who's one of the ex-directors of the USU, myself and Lizette, who had to put up with me for quite a few years. But between us, we managed to grow the program. And now, of course, we have this amazing A team, which you'll meet tonight. You've already seen Ash on the team. You haven't seen them, please say hello. They're up there dancing. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Nina. Nina put on an amazing show tonight. We got a round of applause for Nina. I mean, fantastic. In fact, we're growing that we only took this a couple of months ago. We've also added another member, which is Rabab, our new accelerator manager, all the way from Cambridge. If you've ever met Rabab, please say hello tonight. She's going to be amazing. Round of applause for Rabab as well. And a lot of people don't see the mentors. So the mentors have been instrumental. I mean, I can't do it myself. You know, I'm not the one with all the experience. It's the mentors, and they're amazing. I'm just going to shout out to a few of them because these have been with us for 7 years. Like, incredible, if you think about that. So you've got Mike of Main Sequence, Natasha of Uniseed now, David Kenny from Hall Chadwick, Matt Byrne of Curicon, Rick and Sam of Blackbird. They started mentoring before Blackbird was even a thing, which is hilarious. In fact, most of our mentors started mentoring before their organizations were a thing. Brad Devison, entrepreneur, Shane, our first CIO, Matt Barry, who gave us our first sponsorship, and is probably too busy running freelancer right now. Michelle Deco, One Ventures, Mark Allen, who now has his own firm, helping startups. Rob McKinn, same thing, helping startups with IP. Liz Kalin, our food entrepreneur. Chris Gabriel, Sally, who used to be at Google, was our first national sponsor, and so many more. Without you guys, you know, this just wouldn't be possible. So round of applause for our longtime mentors. Thanks so much. Finally, the community. You guys come here, show up, support us. Thanks so much for coming. It's amazing to have you. I hope you enjoy meeting the startups. And of course, my favorite, the founders. This is most of the cohorts, not all of them. If you're wondering, I couldn't fit them all on. You know, they're just the most amazing people. I learn way more from them than they learn from me, I can tell you that, easily. In fact, I'm just going to shout out to a few of them. I don't want to miss out a few. I mean, I can't say hi to everyone, but I'm just going to shout out to a few because I know they're watching. So Abyss Solutions, who's our global underwater robotics startup. If you've ever been to Hoover Dam, Abyss is servicing them. Uprise, our mental health startup. Posolo, our e-commerce startup. Appson, bringing machine learning to a whole bunch of old industries. Basketball Forever, our biggest independent media tech startup. Breathewell, Triumph, our medtech startups, both of which just recently got FDA approval. Our ag tech, Screen Atlas, Biotech, ShopGrok, Companion Couch, our consumer startup, and last but not least, AMSL Aero, who are developing flying taxis. Pretty cool, like literally flying taxis. And I love that because when they're successful, and they will be successful, you'll see them in the skies of Sydney, and you can be like, hey, they started right here on this stage, which is pretty cool. And you know, I guess I just wanted to leave a parting message, which is really, you know, being a founder is really impossible. Like you just think it's absolutely impossible until it isn't, until you achieve what you need to achieve. And that's what our founders do every day. And that's what I love to do. And I'm so proud that Incubate will continue to support entrepreneurs and inspire them for many years to come. And I can't wait to see the real results. So thank you very much. And thanks for having me, guys. Have a great night. Ash. Ah, I do get a bouquet. I'll give you this. Thanks. Thanks so much. Thank you.
I think we also have another bouquet from
oh, goodness.
your family.
I feel like a pageant. Thanks, Mum. Thank you. Mwah. My mum. She liked to say my longest investor.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I think it's only fitting that our family members here, because I think we're all powered by our friends and family and loved ones. And I know there's a lot of them who are supporting the startups here tonight.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Thank you very much, James. And we know that you'll be in the hub
beyond
your departure, even if we didn't want you to be, but we hope you will be.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
No, thank you so much.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks,
you.
Ash.
Thanks. You will get a drink in just 1 second, but we do have a couple more people to thank. James, need the clicker. Thank you. So first of all, Class 15 applications are open. If this is something that you're sitting there and thinking, I really want to be a part of this amazing community, then please apply now. Head to our website, incubate.org.au, and follow the prompts. We really welcome all applications. You'll receive mentorship and advice no matter what stage of the startup journey you're on, so please apply. Likewise, if you're interested in becoming a mentor of this program, then likewise find me or one of our fantastic staff members, and we're happy to chat to you a bit more about that. As James has mentioned, this wouldn't be possible without both the University of Sydney, our key partner in crime here, but also the University of Sydney Union and our board, who not only champion student innovation, but also the importance of translating research from this university. And it's through their investment that we've been able to extend a lot of our activities in the last 12 months, which has also included redesigning Proto, our pre-accelerator program. This is a program that in the last 12 months has seen a 400% increase in participants from across the campus coming in and learning what to do with their ideas. And here are just a couple of founders that we hope to grace the stage soon, particularly Jody, who just won the pitch competition last week and has a golden ticket to the Class 15 interviews. So, yes, give them a round of applause. A great group of diverse founders coming up. So we really need to thank the Incubate team. When we think about the support team getting people to the end of the marathon line, then these are the people that do it. Lucas Hakewill, our Associate Program Manager, has been responsible for nurturing that pipeline of founders through Proto and Proto X. Nina Yule, who we just did a call out to before, she's the ray of sunshine in the office. She takes care of our community. She's the person on the bike giving people water as they get to the end of the finish line. And she also chooses the music each day, which is really important because we don't want to listen to James's house music all the time. So thank you, Nina. Also, Persis Arani, who is one of the greatest hustlers I've ever seen. She's also responsible for managing our spaces and making sure that everyone is well fed. So thank you, Persis. Well, thanks. We have two incredible student leaders who have joined us this year. We have Colette Smith, who's been working on a fantastic content strategy for us, and a personal favourite of mine is her strategic use of cat GIFs throughout our channels. So thank you, Colette. Also, Cynthia Feng, who's joined us just a few months ago and has already been delivering so many great insights for us to further develop our programs and reach more students. We also have a couple more people on the team. Lizette Lee, who is a veteran of Incubate, champion of founder mental wellbeing, and also plant warrior. And so thank you, Lizette, for everything that you continue to do for our program. I think she's a bit of a celebrity. And then we've got Beck Sedicol, who's just returned to our team again, who's bringing her programs expertise from across the USU. And of course, Rabab Nasrallah, who has just been with us a few weeks, but has already hit the ground running and making lots of great relationships across the university. Also, our entrepreneurs in residence for this semester, Ben, Matt and Elise, thank you so much for all of the time and effort that you've put into helping our founders reach the finish line and build their businesses. This cohort wouldn't have been the same without your input, and we really, really appreciate it. And then also just a round of applause for our volunteers who have been here all night, making sure that everyone has an enjoyable evening, collecting glasses. So just watch the glasses on the ground if they haven't got them yet. So thank you to our volunteers. Make sure I've got everyone. Yeah, that's everyone. So with that, enjoy the rest of your evening. Please go meet and greet, see our startups, eat some macarons, and enjoy the evening. Thank you.